everybody? Have some great, super important, fun stuff to talk about today. Why am I so energetic? I could be chill, right? We're cool. Just chill out a little bit. I want to talk to you about, of course, we got Lost updates. Got to talk about that, and actually going to talk about what Lost has to do with the super powerful business strategy known as the blue ocean. I'm going to share about that in just a moment. Then I'm going to talk to you about one of the simplest ways to start, just start getting in on deals. And the great thing is it doesn't require you spend any money, it doesn't require you even know anything about real estate. All it requires is that you're really good at using one part of your body. Don't get any naughty ideas. It's not what I'm talking about. I'll get to that in a moment. And then last but not least, I want to talk about something else, which I kind of was going to start recommending last week, but I've decided that I'm not recommending it at all. So let's get to it. So Lost time. Did you watch this week's episode of Lost? The backstory of Richard. Confession, I didn't get to see it live. I still have to watch it. I'm going to watch it on replay. So don't tell me what happened. Richard, why does he age? He never gets old. He's always around. But I want to talk about something, thinking about recording, watching that video on replay. I just want to talk about, it's so important, so many times people just see markets changing and all they do is try to hang on to things and not change with them and not realize that things are changing. That's why a lot of people got really frustrated and burnt with real estate, and there's a lot of people who made a lot of money because they realized things were changing. And it got me thinking about TiVo. TiVo came out, and I remember when TiVo came out, it was probably about, because I remember I was still interested in screenwriting at the time, so it was about 5-6 years ago when TiVo started getting popular. And it was huge. Everybody was like, TiVo, best thing, right? Record shows and cut out commercials and this and that. But now what you're seeing is, I don't know about you, but every time I miss a favorite show of mine, whatever show that may be, I just hop online and I go to NBC.com or go to ABC, and now networks more and more have everything, even like the Food Network. And when I miss my Iron Chef shows, I go to the Food Network and I see it there. And it's just so unique. And so you see that the model is changing, and you see how a business like TiVo that can rise up and become so powerful and so popular, if they don't realize that the market's changing, that's a company that's going to sort of disappear. Just like we saw what happened with a lot of the video stores is Redbox DVD and Netflix came out, how they didn't adapt, and they were like, well, we're just going to keep charging $5 for someone to come to the store and go home and come back to the store, and they didn't realize it. And even though Blockbuster jumped on the bandwagon, they jumped a little bit late and suffered what may or may not prove to be a critical blow as the years progress. But anyways, just kind of got me thinking because I haven't watched that episode. I'm saving it, and I can't wait to see it. But what does Lost have to do with the Blue Ocean Strategy? Well, Blue Ocean Strategy is a book, and I'm going to mispronounce names, but Mark and I talk about this all the time. It's kind of interesting. When I started getting involved in screenwriting, there was a guy, Tim, who I think he went to NYU, which is one of the most prestigious schools for screenwriting. And he was older than I was, and I was kind of trying to pick his brain as a mentor and ask him some questions. And I would say, oh, I'm trying to watch every movie possible and read every screenplay. And he was like, no. He's like, you don't do that. He goes, what you do is you find the 5 or 10 that really, really move you and that really impact you, and you just study them inside and out. And I think sometimes we become like serial fanatics with information, just so much information, to just try to gobble it all up but never really digest it or apply it. On the other hand, as opposed to taking a handful of books, which I have my handful, which I talk about all the time, and Mark talks about all the time. One of them is Blue Ocean Strategy. Great book. And what does that have to do with, what is a Blue Ocean Strategy? What does it have to do with Lost? What does it have to do with you in your business, whether you're an online entrepreneur, real estate investor, whatever it is you're doing to make money online? Well, the Blue Ocean Strategy talks about the concept that as competition increases, is this book upside down? No, it's right side. It feels like it should be upside down, but it's not because my viewer's reversed. Anyways, it talks about the concept that as businesses expand and competition expands, what happens is there becomes a bloody ocean, and that's where people just keep offering more for less, right? They keep offering more stuff for a lower and lower price, and what happens is when you offer more, driving up your costs by charging less, decreasing your revenue, your profit shrinks until you're not profitable anymore. And so the Blue Ocean Strategy is, how do you take yourself out of that bloody ocean and do something completely different? Well, not completely different, but different enough that you're out of the bloody ocean and you're in blue ocean, and you can enjoy big, healthy profit margins, growth, stability, and all those other things. And What does that have to do with loss? Well, you look at all the different dramas on TV, and one of the things that I love about Lost so much is how it's used in its own way, a blue ocean strategy. You can't look at the show Lost and say, oh, Lost, that's kind of like this. Lost has essentially become a show that is its own thing. There's nothing that can compare to it. And I'm not saying that there isn't, you might have a show you like better, but I'm talking about in what it is, in its definable qualities, there's nothing that can be compared to it. And because of that, it has a power, it has a drawing power, it has a marketing power, it has a value that other things can't. You know, you could say, well, you know, CSI, there's a million crime dramas, right? You say, you know, these romantic sort of, you know, housewifey type show. There's a million of those things. But you say Lost, like, what is Lost like? Now, what's so unique about it, and again, Mark and I will probably, if Mark doesn't do it, I'll do it at some point. We'll do like a whole week long, maybe we'll do a study through the book Blue Ocean because it's really that important. But anyways, you know, one of the core strategies of the Blue Ocean isn't that you're creating something bizarre that nobody's familiar with. Like I'm going to have a show about squirrels who rob banks and give the money to orphans in foreign countries because people be like, what is that? I don't understand what that is. But what Lost does so effectively is it takes a couple things we're familiar with because it's almost like, kind of like Survivor Island in a way. And it's kind of like, you know, a mystery show, but then it brings in these other elements of just science fiction and all these different things that just move it into this place that it's different. And you can't say Lost is like these other things. And what that does is even when new shows come out, more shows come out, they don't draw away from Lost. Lost stays its own thing. It's not hurt by competition. If anything, it's helped because the more competition that comes out, the more Lost stands out as its unique thing. What about you? How does that apply to you and your business? When you look at what you're looking to do, whether it's in real estate, day trading, well, day trading is a little bit different. Whether you look at real estate, online info products, being an online entrepreneur, what is it? What are you doing that allows you to be your own blue ocean that's making you stand out, that as competition increases, it actually makes you look that much more unique and different? It's one of the things that we do here in the Virtual Deal Factory. It's one of the reasons that Mark and I came up with the model and the vision we did. It's why we invited Vinny Delfini into the Virtual Deal Factory. It's why we went with the model we went with in a free model. It's why we do the shows we do. All these things that make it clear that, you know what, somebody might have a forum out here and someone has a community out here and someone does some content out of here, but nobody does the unique thing we do, and that's part of our Blue Ocean strategy. So what else is going on? Oh, I wanted to tell you, what part of your body can you use to start getting more deals? And no naughty thoughts. Answer? La boca. So you learn Spanish today too. La boca, meaning the mouth. Let me tell you what happened. Pulled up into my driveway yesterday, and next door, a lady had moved in who's a realtor who's looking to sell the place next door, and she moved in just so she could help fix it up, so on and so forth. And I was just coming in with my groceries, just being friendly, just using my big Italian mouth, saying hello, and I just stopped by and I was like, hey, what's going on, da, da, da. And I just asked a couple basic questions. Nothing, I didn't have any agenda, I was just sort of shooting the breeze, but I was like, hey, what's up with this, what's up with that? And literally in a matter of a couple minutes, I dug up some great deal dirt about some different things in my neighborhood, as far as there were these commercial spaces I've always looked at, and they've been vacant for a while, and she was explaining that the problem is they've been taken over by the bank and they're not bringing anybody in, but they're trying to fix them up, so they might be trying to sell them. So I got some dirt about that. There's also these other condo workplaces which are really cool that kind of could fit into some things we're looking to do in the future, especially with VDF, and I got the dirt on them. They're also bank owned, and they're in a lock right now, so I was finding all these things out. And then I also found out about a spec home that Charlene and I had made an offer on about 6 months ago, but then walked away because the builder was wholly unreasonable. I found out that that house is now on the contract, so I'm going to be able to find out how much it sells for and see whether or not my expectations for the property were reasonable or not, and how the properties in the area may be adjusted based upon this recent sale. And all this great stuff. How did I have a degree? Did I take a special course? No, I was just willing to just talk to people. It's one of the biggest things that allow you to get deals. You know, be somebody who just knows, you know what's going on, and not because you're nosy, but because you're friendly. You take time to talk to people, see what's happening. Really, really powerful, really simple. It's something you need to be doing. Just because we work in our pajamas doesn't mean we have to never leave our house or talk to people. We need to be doing these things, okay? Last but not least, My referral, I'm retracting. Last week I was talking about how I'm looking forward to seeing this year's Celebrity Apprentice. Now, confession, as much as I talk a lot about, I love entrepreneurial things, talk about entrepreneurial movies, you know the different shows that I watch that teach some great stuff. I've never watched The Apprentice. I've never seen it. I don't know why. I guess it just was on a night. I was busy. I just never got into it. And then, since I've sort of, Shark Tank just finished up and I've been watching Undercover Boss, and then I saw this coming, I was like, I should watch The Apprentice. I should watch it. I was really excited. I actually told you the same thing. I said, you should check it out. Let's watch it. And I know it started a couple weeks ago, but again, I'm always on the computer. I don't let the TV schedule dictate when I watch my TV. Anyways, I finally checked out the first episode. I got to be honest, I was thoroughly disappointed. I thought it was just terrible from a number of aspects. One, most importantly, I watch those shows to be entertained and also learn a little something. You really can learn something about negotiations from Shark Tank and what makes a truly unique, viable business model. You can learn something from Undercover Boss, or even, when I used to watch Pitchmen. That was a great show, and you'd learn a lot from that. It was just bad. There was really nothing it was a 2-hour show. There was really nothing to take away from it. It was just some sort of older celebrities calling people, asking them to donate money. It was just really lame. They weren't particularly business savvy. The only thing I liked is I liked seeing Curtis Stone, because I love cooking and chefs, and he's the take-home chef, so it was cool seeing him in action running a little restaurant. But other than that, it was terrible. There was a lot of unnecessary profanity. They seemed to be cursing about everything and anything, but they weren't even really entrepreneurs. It was just bad. It was just bad TV. Didn't enjoy it. In fact, Starbuck, should I? You think so? All right, it's banned. Boom! I'm putting the ban on it. I'm not watching Celebrity Apprentice. I won't ban the regular Apprentice. Maybe the regular Apprentice is better. You can tell me if you think it is. Shoot me a message inside VDF. But as of right now, I'm banning the Celebrity Apprentice because it just wasn't enjoyable, wasn't educational, and was just kind of like, blah. So, you're banned, Celebrity Apprentice. How do you like that? All right, so that's it. That's what I got. Think about your blue ocean. If you get a chance, pick up the book. Maybe we'll do a read-along in a future show. We'll work through it in a month or so, over the course of a month. A lot of cool things we're planning to do. Use that mouth. Start talking to people. And, go find some reruns of Shark Tank, or grab a copy of Pitchmen. Order a copy of that. Those are some great shows. I think you'll enjoy them a lot more and learn a lot more than you will watching The Celebrity Apprentice, which is, it just reminds me of like the McDonald's version of food. Like, it kind of resembles food, and it might fill you up if you have nothing else to eat, but clearly not part of a healthy diet. I don't think so. That's my opinion anyways, my 2 cents, what it's worth. Thanks for being here. Make sure to tune in every day. VDF Daily. See you next time.